You might have thought that classical tunes would be the music of choice for our brightest children. But a study by Stuart Cadwallader and Professor Jim Campbell from the National Academy for Gifted and Talented Youth has found that our brightest pupils in fact prefer heavy metal. Some of the children surveyed said heavy metal helps them deal with the stresses and strains of being seen as social outsiders.
Pop music. I wanted to be a pop star when I was older. I used to love it, but then I got introduced to Slipknot and that's it.
When I was looking at the sort of self-esteem data, which was sort of a measure that was taken as part of the wider survey, they did have slightly lower levels of self-esteem and reported slightly weaker relationships with peers and parents. Generally, they were still a very well-adjusted, normal group who weren't dramatically different. But this sort of slightly lower self-esteem was interesting to me, so I wanted to sort of look into that why, and also to look at what the appeal of heavy metal was, given that it's, such a sort of, it's got the stereotype attached to it of being such a sort of loud, thrashy and sort of angry music. So I followed up this survey data and I did an interview with some of the students, a group of 19 of the students, which said they were heavy metal fans. They sort of reported two main things. One of them was that heavy metal often sort of has quite a political appeal, in that the music isn't sort of about your everyday, the sort of everyday pop songs can sort of just be about, love and going out dancing, and heavy metal tends to have more complex themes. It tends to be a bit darker and it tends to have a much greater political edge, and I think that some of the students that were into it really reported that.
The lyrics are normally a lot different to like R&B and stuff. R&B is normally like, oh no, my girlfriend's left me, or I'm going to smack you if you come onto my territory. Stereotypically, of course. And rock, it's normally about, I don't know, being lonely or something like that. It's normally the heavy metal I listen to, it's hard to hear the lyrics, it's normally all screaming.
They like to use the music to blow off steam, that because it can be quite loud and there's sort of quite a sort of thumping rhythm to it, then they can literally sort of stamp out their frustrations with the day. They can use it literally for catharsis, to sort of bring out all the negativity if they've had a bad day or whatever, and just release it that way in a sort of healthy way.
I tend to get called square a lot. If you're clever, it's like I got 50 out of 50 on my chemistry test, and I shouldn't really say beat. I got a better score than the person in our class who's normally classed as the clever one. So I got called a big square and everything. It was like nobody was talking to me because they were all, I thought they were jealous.
The thing is that each child are different, and it's nice to think that they're not stereotyped now into liking classical music. And it used to always be, especially when we were younger, the bright kids were always into sort of like classical music and that. And if you liked heavy metal when we were younger, they always thought you were thick. It's a good way of expressing themselves, isn't it? They've got to have a release from education.
Yeah.
And
what better way than listening to heavy metal?
That's right. We enjoy it, don't we?
Yeah.